I'm Jason, and I'm the vice president of Lambda Chi Alpha.
I'm Andrew. I'm the external vice president and philanthropy chair of Lambda Chi Alpha.
I'm Brock. I'm the social chair and also in charge of basically keeping everyone in line for their jobs, like as all the officers.
Awesome. Well, now that you've met our officers here, I think we can probably go ahead and start, and other people can tune in as it does. We're recording this as well, so if you'd like to check on our Facebook, this video will be available. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Let me just give me a moment to share my screen. All right. So here we go. How do we go into presentation mode? There we go. Okay. So to start off, we are Lambda Chi Alpha, and our motto is every man a man. Basically, what that means is when the moment you join this fraternity, you are treated as equally as anybody else who has been here for as long as they have been. We're very much so dependent on making everybody feel safe and welcome, and equal opportunities for all associate members and initiated brothers included. So to beginning the presentation, we have to start with a little bit of history here and our purpose. Lambda Chi is one of the largest men's fraternities in North America, with over 11,000 active members and over 290,000 alumni across the globe. We rank up in the top 10 for total membership and alumni. So that means we have lots of connections, much like other large established fraternities, which gives you a very good advantage when you go into the professional world and need those connections. You already have them as soon as you leave college. Lambda Chi Alpha was founded by Warren A. Cole in 1909 with the purpose of bringing about the association of college students of good moral character to promote honorable friendship, cultivate intellectual excellence, establish brotherly love, mutual aid, close personal connection between alumni, undergraduates, and colleges, and to bind them together by testing each with courage, self-control, obedience, democracy, and courtesy towards all. So yeah, that is our purpose and mission statement. I'll go ahead and go to the next slide. We say here, don't pledge Lambda Chi, but join Lambda Chi. And that is because in our fraternity's history, after establishing our fraternity in 1909, we were one of the first, or the first, to abolish hazing, which means that the minute you join this fraternity, you will not be pledging us. You will be an associate member, just one of us, rather than that pledging process. So freshmen come into the fraternity with all the same rights and privileges as a fully initiated member. And that's one of the things we like to pride ourselves on, is that if you have shown the good moral character to become a member of this fraternity, you'll be treated as a member of this fraternity, nothing less. This means you will also have the right to vote at chapter meetings and the right to hold leadership roles. And most importantly, you will never be hazed. I thought when I was first joining this fraternity that the fact that you could be the president of the fraternity in your freshman year or your sophomore year is a very special thing to have, that not a lot of, not a lot of other fraternities can offer. Associates participate in the education program, which is designed to teach about the fraternity's histories, values, and brotherhood, and the new role we play on the University of Idaho campus. That education process is 6 weeks. Every Sunday night, we usually go over things involving what it is to be a man of character, what it is to be a useful member of this community on campus, as well as a prosperous individual in your future. And then initiation, which is when you become an initiated brother, is 1 week after the full education process, and that usually happens towards the later end of the semester. Going over our core values, these are some of the things that we teach weekly in our educations. We start with loyalty, which is the faithfulness or devotion to a group or cause. As joining a member of fraternity, you obviously are loyal to that fraternity. So we like to explain right out the gate what it means to be a loyal person and to have loyalty towards things that are worth being loyal to. Then our second spells LDR-ship, by the way. But the second value is duty, which is a sense of moral commitment to something. Respect, a positive feeling of esteem for a person or entity. Service and stewardship, which is the responsibility to take care of people in the world and the people within it. Honor, which is honesty, fairness, or integrity in one's belief. And integrity, which is consistency of actions, values, or morals. And personal courage, which is the mental or moral strength to withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. So we teach you these things coming into fraternity because we believe these values are good for any man. And by teaching you as an associate member, we bring you through the pathway of becoming a man on your journey in your college experience. Any other officers have anything to say about those core values? Or okay, awesome. Go on to the next slide here. We talk about scholarship and academics. Individually, our first and foremost goal is to be a man among men. However, in college, a major part of being a man is excelling academically. We take our academics very seriously at our chapter. We in the past have placed top 5 to 10 in grades for our university's chapter standards. And we also are one of the chapters that has one of the most scholarship opportunities by joining our chapter. So our chapter has several endowment funds worth over $2 million to reward our hardworking members. Our members receive close to $60,000 annually in scholarships. And the great thing about that is if you are coming from high school and you have a 3.0 GPA, as a member, you will automatically receive a semesterly scholarship between $1,000 and $2,000. So that personally has helped me a lot in my college experience in paying for my house bill. Sometimes I use it for something fun like new computer parts. Other guys have used it for going on rafting trips or ski trips or whatever you want. So we like to reward people based on their academic success by having our extensive alumni and endowment funds reward them for that. So our chapter received a 3.23 spring GPA in 2020. So this last semester we were at a 3.23, and our cumulative GPA overall is a 3.06. So that falls within the top 5 to 10 of chapter GPAs.
Yeah, and then fun thing with this, so I've gotten it the last 4 semesters, and we say between 1,000 and 2,000 because it kind of just depends on how many people get it. But in the last 4 semesters, I haven't gotten less than 1,800 per semester, at least with that. Most of the time, it's the 2,000 is what we hit. So it's a really cool thing to have immediately whenever you're getting in. And I know for sure with me, it kind of helped pay a lot with housing. And, you know, it was a big reason why I joined on top of everything else. But like, we had the biggest scholarship or endowment on campus. So I think that's a really cool part about joining the house, and it actually helps fund a lot of our education, housing, and entertainment.
Yeah, very well said, Marshall. Like I said earlier, you can use that money on anything you feel like would excel your academic performance or just your fun time. So awesome. We'll go ahead and move on to the next slide here. So philanthropy is a very important part of the Greek community as well as our chapter on campus. Nationally, we were partnered with Feeding America, and since 2013, Lambda Chi has helped provide close to 20 million meals to families and people in need. As you can see in this bottom right-hand picture, this was a local food drive that we did for Feeding America. We just left Winco bags on the doorknobs and people in the community and gathered back all that food for the local food bank. So this top right picture here is our watermelon bash philanthropy in the fall, which is our more popular philanthropy. It's a ton of fun. We have all the sororities out, bash some watermelons in our front yard. We do different watermelon themed games like a race or a watermelon eating contest. And all those funds that we accumulate through that event goes towards Feeding America. So during the spring, we usually have 2 smaller philanthropies benefiting a local cause. So we'll sometimes do Lambda quesadillas. So we'll sell quesadillas on the street corner of Delta Gamma. And then we'll usually, if there's a cause that we want to benefit in the local community for, say, someone who is having health problems or some organization that is having problems, we like to also give back to our community that, allows us to be a chapter on campus. So, and then talking about other people's philanthropies, we are also very active in that. For the last 4 years, we have won Pi Beta Phi's Philanthropy Aerospike, which is a volleyball tournament. So that's something we like to pride ourselves on. And in 2018, our chapter was homecoming champions. So very cool stuff. Andrew, would you like to talk more about philanthropy?
Yeah, so biggest reason I wanted to be the philanthropy chair when I was running for office last year was a lot of people in the community see like fraternities as a bad thing. And when we give back to the communities, it's our way of showing that we do like to have fun, but we also give back to the community and try to do as much good as we can. And another thing we did last year was we partnered with a local school, and they did a fundraising, and we kind of auctioned ourselves off as like for working, and we helped gain the school $700, which really helped them with getting like computers and school supplies and stuff like that for the kids, which was really awesome.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Andrew. We'll go on to the next slide as long as nobody else had anything to say about that. Cool. So, and then the final thing that we like to pride ourselves is fun. College is a once in a lifetime experience, and we make it a point to maximize our free time as well as our work experience. So we do things like social events, lots of ski trips in the winter. We'll do brotherhoods every week. And pretty much anything outdoors is what our chapter really likes to do together. So like I said before, we hold socials with sororities almost monthly. COVID is a bit of an obstacle this year for everyone. However, we like to keep that close connection with the sororities and even the fraternities, just making sure we're social entities on the campus and really, I guess, getting to experience other friends on campus as well outside of the chapter. So, and then we hold weekly brotherhood events. In the past, we've done floor hockey. We're going to do airsoft in the future. We've done Madden, Smash Bros, NBA 2K tournaments, and many more events that we like to do as just a closed brotherhood. So, Jason or Brock, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so let me start my video. So for some of the brotherhoods we do, I like as vice president for the internal affairs of Lambda Chi, I'm pretty much in charge of orchestrating and getting everybody together to join in an activity that would somehow bring us closer, bond, and learn our values, but at the same time also having fun. Some of those things, floor hockey, airsoft, those tournaments, we've done those in the last semester. Some other brotherhoods that we've done that are much on a larger scale include snowboarding trips or whitewater rafting trips that we've kind of just thrown together. It's good to get us, they're good brotherhoods because they like teach us how to live together, or not live together, but like they make us bond, but they also get us out of the house, out of town, and kind of seeing some of the surrounding areas. In that one photo with us, when we all got our snowboards, that was actually taken 2 years ago up in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, where we all went and snowboarded Big White Mountain Ski Resort. And then last semester, in February, we did another brotherhood where some of us drove all the way up to Revelstoke, which is just right next to Banff National Park, also in British Columbia, Canada. And that was a 3-day snowboarding trip. And then I also have plans in the future to hold whitewater rafting brotherhoods, maybe a half day, maybe a 2-dayer. So it'll be rafting, spend the
Labor
night on
Day
a beach.
weekend.
Labor Day weekend. All right, there we go. We
Labor
got a
Day
date.
weekend, lower salmon.
Yeah.
It
And then
would be dope.
that, and for some of the guys watching, learning about Lambda, that is our Brock. That is our designated recreational major. He helps me out a lot and actually kind of takes the lead on a lot of these outdoor brotherhoods. So Brock, if you want to talk about some of the things that we do that you kind of like spearhead throughout the semesters.
Oh, yeah, sure. 1 second. Let me unmute myself for real, so I don't have to hold the space.
Oh,
Okay, so basically, as far as rec stuff, like outdoor stuff that we've just random adventures we've done, there's been a lot of random weekends where people just get bored and hop in a car and drive somewhere. A lot of the time, it ends up being Canada for some reason because it's foreign and not far away. But let's see, freshman year we did a weekend trip to all the Mount Hood ski resorts. Then sophomore year was Big White, and then this year was Revelstoke, and we're going to plan something for next year. I'm kind of spitballing on stuff like that right now, trying to figure out what we're going to do. But yeah, we've also, a bunch of, me and Marshall actually, and a few other guys that are connected to other people in the house did a whitewater rafting trip down the Owyhee River in northeastern Oregon this spring break. A bunch of the boys actually are leaving on a surf trip tomorrow. Me, JJ, Chase will be there, Cole, a couple other guys, and we're all going to be going on a surf trip to the Oregon coast this weekend. Like, there's a lot of people in our house that really like to do a lot of different things. Like, if you're really into sports like basketball or baseball or whatever, you've got people to talk to about that. You've got people to do that with. Same thing with like outdoor. We're just very active overall, whether it be more on like a organized sports side or a video game side or like an outdoor rec kind of screw around and do your own thing side. We've got pretty much everything and everybody, and they're always down to do something.
Yeah, very well said. Did you want to talk about socials at all, or?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Right now, I'm brainstorming a co-host with Theta Chi for whatever weekend we're allowed to do that because the COVID. So I don't know about that yet because we haven't heard back about what the rules are. But yeah, that's coming down the pipe. Also, talk to Pike a little bit as well. Also, Phyta wants to do a brotherhood of some sort. I've heard mention of like paintballing up in Spokane all together as a crew, but that would take some serious organization. But we could do it. I was thinking about maybe doing like renting out. Actually, no, never mind. Ignore that. That was still only half an idea. I haven't gotten through that one yet. But yeah, so there's a lot of different stuff happening. There's always going to be socials, always different like door paintings, ice skating, pie. We should do a pie eating contest. We should do that one. But it just kind of happens as it happens. But it's definitely, there's something for everybody with what we do, no matter what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, very well said. We have lots of different members in our house. So like Brock and Jason were saying, is you can find some commonalities with almost each and every one of our members. We'll go on and go to the next slide. This is the boring slide, but chapter finances, got to go over them. So like we mentioned, you get a scholarship from $1,000 to $2,000, but our chapter dues for living in-house are $33.50 a semester. And then on top of that, there's a new member dues that goes to nationals, pays for your Lambda Chi gear and just initiation fees. So that's $200. And then there's a parking pass for $50 if you have a car and need a place to park. It's much cheaper than the university parking as well. So we like to have that for our members. And then also another thing that other chapters may or may not have, but we have a payment plan that is available. So if you are financially, like it's financially difficult, you can set up with our Haita Marshall, our finances guy, and he will accommodate in any way necessary. So Marshall, did you have anything to say about that, or probably good?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much covered it all. I just kind of wanted to highlight the parking lot because most houses, they just have like 5 spots that aren't like actually theirs in front of their house. But we got like a whole ass parking lot. So basically, if you live in house and you have a car, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a parking spot. I know I was a little worried whenever I came up about it, but for $50 a semester rather than like I think it's 200 or 250 for the university parking, it's a pretty good deal.
Awesome. Great. Well, we'll go on to one of our last slides here. Lifelong friends and powerful connections. So being in a fraternity has been shown to help people with connections throughout their whole life. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a huge alumni base and a ton of people to get your next job offer. You could get your grad school figured out. We have a bunch of alumni all over the nation. So and even in Canada. So building connections through Lambda Chi is one of the things that we really are proud to do. When you join, you also join a community of tens of thousands of people who are or were in a Greek house during their college years. So not only do you interact with the people in our fraternity, but you interact with the people on campus and in Greek life. So you have many friends for lifelong. And yeah, so that's another great thing about joining Greek life is, as opposed to the dorms, when you're living in the dorms, you kind of each have your own private spaces, whereas Greek life really exposes you to the community and gets you involved. And then the last thing here, the people you meet in the next 4 years will be in your life always. So we are all brothers here, and we all stay in contact, and we'll be staying in contact for many years down the road. So yeah, we're proud to be Lambda Chi's. That's it for our presentation here. Thank you for coming. If any of you have any questions, we'll go ahead and do a Q&A where you can ask anything that you might be curious about, or maybe we didn't cover. So you guys can go ahead and unmute yourselves and introduce yourselves if you would like.
All right, I'll go first. My name's Colby. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and was just looking to join a brotherhood.
Okay, awesome. Well, nice to meet you, Colby. Was there anything that like you were looking in for a brotherhood, or particularly like if you were nervous about the whole Greek life experience, if any of your relatives have done that before, or?
I know my uncle, he was in Greek life and everything like that, and I'm actually bringing a car up to Idaho, so I was actually a little worried about the parking situation, but it's really good to hear that there's always accommodations for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's nice. The Greek parking passes, I think, are like $200-something for a purple pass. So definitely a pleasure that way. So what was your uncle in fraternity? Do you know?
He was in, um, whoa, I can figure it out. Give me just 1 second.
Oh, okay, no worries. There's a lot of them, so it makes sense.
Right.
But glad to hear that you're interested in Greek life. That's very awesome. This is a big step in a journey in your college experience, but totally worth it.
And something I'd just like to say real quick with questions and stuff, nothing's off the table whenever it comes to questions. I know whenever I was going through rush, I was scared like, oh, which house is dry, which house is wet. And like, I mean, frequency of parties, it doesn't really matter unless like you're really into that. But as far as like wet house, dry house, if you have any general questions about Greek life in general, we're not going to shit talk any house, but we'll just kind of lay out the information as it is, not our own opinion with it.
Any other members? Oh, sorry. You go ahead. My bad.
Hi, I'm Mac Software. I'm from University Place, Washington, and I was just wondering if freshmen are allowed to live in at if just freshmen are allowed to live in, and if so, do you know how many? Is there going to be like a restriction due to COVID, or do you not know yet?
Yeah, I can go ahead and answer that. So we do have a COVID action plan. You'll be able to see those on the Greek website and section in the University of Idaho. So every chapter had to come up with their own chapter action plan to make sure that capacity fits, that we're being responsible with this whole pandemic as well. So we don't want to break any of the university rules, but we currently have 12 to it was either 12 or 14 in-house spots, and that means that you would get your own private space if it's a small enough room, and then at max maybe like one roommate, and all that stuff. So we do have a lot of opportunity for members to come live into the chapter facility on their first year, and other chapters as well are going to be allowing their new members to live in their facilities as well. But it is going to be very different with COVID. So 12 to 14 is the amount that we can fit in. But yeah.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Great question, by the way. Any other questions from anybody in the audience?
Hi, my name's Hunter Rouse. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I have a question about, say you're struggling in school, like you guys have help for like tutoring and stuff like that too, like access from like the brothers in the house, or like how would you go about that?
I can catch this one, guys.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so we not only is there a specific person that is in charge of all of the fraternity's grades, like they're the ones that are keeping everyone in line for their GPA and like letting us as or some of the people on e-board know whether, which is basically just like the disciplinary board of Lambda Chi e-board. So they're letting e-board know if someone's like slipping in grades, stuff like that. So we have someone not only to keep you accountable, also they are your kind of conduit between all of the super awesome university study programs and stuff like that. So they'll set you up with appointments for like study help, or for if you need a tutor, or if you just want advice from someone about something. Like they are your conduit to all of the super incredible resources that U of I has. Or even if you just ask a brother, like one of the guys in the house, if they're capable of answering your question or helping you out, they're 100% down for it. So it's overall, we have a really good environment to learn.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And just like every other house, we have, our own, test files that you can use to study. But kind of like what Brock was saying previously and now, our house, just like its diversity, I think that's like where we really shine, because like I'm a finance and international studies major, Brock's a rec major. We have a bunch of computer engineers. So there's pretty much always somebody who can help you no matter whatever you're studying. I also have another question. So, about like a meal plan, do you think it would just like be better to get a meal plan on top of like if you do live in house, like, or just stay away from it? I guess it's like
University food is trash.
that, and as a finance side, so as a part of your dues, that comes included with the meal plan. I guess since I've been in, and I've never heard of anybody not wanting to opt into the house meal plan. But so if you're living in, you're guaranteed a meal, I think, lunch and dinner Monday through Friday. So you're just fending for yourself on the weekends, but there's leftovers, there's stuff around you can cook with, or typically I like to go out or just like order something real quick. So you're definitely well fed. We also have breakfast items, coffee, all that shit. So as far as a meal plan, I've never bought one. Anybody in the house, unless they were not living in the house, has never bought one. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. All right, cool. Thank you.
Kind of to add on to that also, where the hub, which is like the whole dining area for campus, it is literally on the other side of campus from the house, like the complete other side. So unless you want to wake up, walk 10 minutes, then have your breakfast, then walk 10 minutes back to like get ready or whatever, and then walk another 10 minutes up to go to class, I don't really like, honestly, with your time, it's going to not only save you money by not spending on the meal plan, you'll also be saving a ton of time. And we also have access to the kitchen, so you can cook for yourself if you're dying.
Yeah, and it's also like 2 or 3 times as expensive per meal for doing the university meal plan.
All right. Thank you, guys.
It's pretty much the same as living in the dorms for a semester is one meal plan.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Jacob, you're muted.
That was a great question, by the way. Sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize that. But anybody else who has questions about academics or stuff like that, or awesome. Well, if that is that, seeing none in the chat here, we can go ahead and conclude this. Thank you all for coming by and learning a little bit more about our chapter. If you are interested in contacting us more, please leave your email or your number, and we would definitely reach out to you, and over the next coming weeks before Rush, get to know you a little bit more and what you're looking for in a chapter. So yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope you all have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, and if you have any extra questions, feel free just to DM us on Instagram as far as like, you know, like what's happening with Rush or what you should bring, all that. We'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah, and if you are not following the Instagram tag, that is LCA U Idaho. So great. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Hope to hear from many of you soon. Have a good one.